Why? Because people don't always recognize the value of something while it is present. Sometimes they only fully understand its importance when it is no longer there. This is true of peace, it is true of trust, it is true of stability, and it is especially true of the energy carried by a chosen soul. If you have a respected aura, there is a good chance that you contribute far more to the people around you than you realize. The challenge is that your contribution often becomes so consistent that others begin to take it for granted. They become accustomed to your calm presence. They become accustomed to your wisdom. They become accustomed to your reliability. They become accustomed to the sense of balance you bring into their lives. Then one day, you are not there, and suddenly, something feels different. Have you ever returned to a workplace after being away and heard people say things weren't the same without you? Have you ever stepped back from a friendship, group, or community and noticed that people began reaching out more than usual? Have you ever distanced yourself from a situation only to discover that tensions increased, misunderstandings grew, or problems became more noticeable after you left? These experiences often reveal a hidden truth. Your presence was contributing more than anyone realized, including you. Chosen souls frequently underestimate the stabilizing effect they have on their environments. Because they are focused on helping, listening, encouraging, and supporting others, they rarely stop to consider the role they play in maintaining harmony. To them, these actions feel natural. To everyone else, they are valuable. Think about the strongest foundations of a building. Most people never notice them. Visitors admire the walls, the windows, the decorations, and the visible structure. Yet the foundation quietly carries the weight of everything above it. Only when problems appear does everyone realize how important that foundation truly is. A respected aura often functions in the same way. It supports without demanding recognition. It strengthens without seeking praise. It contributes without constantly drawing attention to itself. As a result, people may not always express their appreciation while you are present, but when you leave, the difference becomes impossible to ignore. This is especially true in relationships. Some individuals bring drama wherever they go. Others bring peace. Some create confusion. Others create clarity. Some increase stress. Others reduce it. Chosen souls often belong to the second group. Their energy naturally helps people feel calmer, safer, and more grounded. Even when they are not actively trying to help, their presence creates a sense of emotional stability that others rely upon. The remarkable part is that this influence often operates beneath the surface. People may not consciously recognize it. They may not wake up thinking, this person helps keep things balanced. Yet, when that balance disappears, they immediately notice the difference. Conversations feel different. The atmosphere changes, relationships become strained. The emotional tone of an environment shifts, and suddenly, the value of your presence becomes visible. This teaches an important lesson about respect. Respect is not always expressed through compliments. Respect is not always demonstrated through applause or public recognition. Sometimes, respect reveals itself through absence. It reveals itself when people miss your perspective. It reveals itself when they miss your encouragement. It reveals itself when they miss the peace you brought into situations that others struggled to navigate. The truth is that many chosen souls spend years believing they are insignificant because they rarely receive direct acknowledgement. Yet the strongest evidence of their impact often appears after they step away. That is when people realize how much strength, wisdom, and stability they contributed all along. So if you've ever noticed that people seem to miss your presence more than you expected, if environments change noticeably when you're gone, or if relationships become less stable after you leave, don't dismiss those experiences. They may be revealing something important. They may be showing you that your aura carries a quiet value that people have come to depend on. And while your presence may not always receive immediate recognition, its absence often reveals just how deeply respected, appreciated, and valued you truly are. By now, you may be recognizing many of these signs in your own life. You may be realizing that your presence influences people in ways you never fully understood. But there is another side to carrying a respected aura, one that many chosen souls encounter sooner or later. Not everyone will celebrate your presence. Not everyone will appreciate your energy. And not everyone will feel comfortable around the light you carry. In fact, one of the most confusing experiences for chosen souls is discovering that the same qualities that earn them respect from some people can create resistance in others. Why does this happen? The answer often has very little to do with you and much more to do with what your presence awakens in others. A respected aura naturally reflects truth, and truth has a way of making people uncomfortable when they are not ready to face it. Think about it. When someone has worked hard to develop integrity, self-awareness, and emotional maturity, their presence becomes a silent reminder of those qualities. People who value growth may feel inspired by it. They may see your example and become motivated to improve their own lives, but others may react differently. Instead of feeling inspired, they may feel exposed. Instead of feeling encouraged, they may feel threatened. Instead of appreciating your authenticity, they may become defensive. This is where jealousy often begins. Jealousy is rarely about what a person has. More often, it is about what someone represents. People may envy your peace because they struggle to find their own. They may envy your confidence because they constantly battle self-doubt. They may envy your emotional stability because they feel controlled by their emotions. The irony is that many chosen souls have fought hard to develop these qualities. The peace others admire was earned through painful seasons. The wisdom others respect was gained through difficult lessons. The strength others envy was forged through challenges most people never saw. Yet those who view only the final result often fail to recognize the journey behind it. Another common reaction is insecurity. When people encounter someone who is comfortable with themselves, it can unintentionally highlight areas where they feel uncertain. Your confidence may remind them of their fears. Your authenticity may remind them of the masks they wear. Your discipline may remind them of goals they have neglected. Again, this does not mean you are doing anything wrong. It simply means your presence is creating reflection. And not everyone enjoys what they see in that reflection. Projection is another challenge many chosen souls face. Projection occurs when people place their own unresolved emotions, fears, or frustrations onto someone else. For example, a person struggling with dishonesty may accuse others of having hidden motives. A person carrying bitterness may assume everyone is judging them. A person battling insecurity may interpret confidence as arrogance. In these situations, people are not necessarily responding to who you are. They are responding to their own internal struggles. Unfortunately, chosen souls often become targets of this projection because their energy naturally exposes what others try to avoid. This can create confusion. You may find yourself wondering why certain individuals dislike you despite having done nothing to them. You may encounter criticism that feels unfair or exaggerated. You may experience resistance from people you barely know. While every situation should be approached with humility and self-reflection, it is important to understand that not all opposition is evidence that you are on the wrong path. Sometimes opposition is evidence that your presence is having an impact. Consider every person throughout history who carried influence, wisdom, or strong convictions. They attracted both admiration and resistance. The reason is simple: meaningful presence creates reaction. People do not usually respond strongly to something that has no effect on them. When your aura carries authenticity, it becomes difficult to ignore. Some people will be inspired by it. Some people will respect it. Some people will be transformed by it. And some people will resist it. The key is learning not to measure your worth by the opinions of those who misunderstand you. A respected aura does not seek universal approval. It seeks alignment with truth, integrity, and purpose. The moment you understand this, you stop wasting energy trying to convince everyone to like you. Instead, you focus on continuing to grow, continuing to serve, and continuing to walk in authenticity. Because the reality is this: if your presence never challenges anyone, it is unlikely to change anyone. And while opposition can be uncomfortable, it is often one of the clearest signs that your energy carries significance. Not because you are better than others, but because genuine authenticity always leaves an impression. Whether people respond with admiration or resistance, one thing remains true: they felt your impact. And impact is one of the strongest indicators of a respected and powerful aura. Now that we've explored the signs of a respected aura, an important question naturally follows. How do you protect and strengthen that aura? The truth is that a powerful spiritual presence is not something you develop once and keep forever without effort. Just as the body requires care and attention, your inner life requires consistent nurturing. The qualities that make your aura respected, peace, wisdom, integrity, compassion, and emotional stability, must be cultivated continuously. The good news is that protecting your aura does not require perfection. It requires intention. One of the most powerful ways to strengthen your spiritual presence is through prayer and quiet reflection. In a world filled with noise, distractions, and constant demands for attention, moments of stillness become incredibly valuable. Prayer allows you to reconnect with your purpose. It helps you release burdens that were never meant to be carried alone. It reminds you that your worth is not determined by the opinions of others, but by something far deeper. Reflection is equally important. Many people move through life reacting to circumstances without ever taking time to understand themselves. Chosen souls grow stronger when they regularly examine their thoughts, emotions, and actions. Self-reflection creates awareness. Awareness creates growth, and growth strengthens the foundation of a respected aura. Another essential practice is establishing healthy boundaries. One of the biggest mistakes spiritually sensitive people make is believing they must be available to everyone all the time. They want to help. They want to support. They want to be there for others. While these qualities are admirable, they can become harmful when they lead to constant exhaustion. Not every problem is yours to solve. Not every conflict requires your involvement. Not every person deserves unlimited access to your energy. Healthy boundaries are not acts of selfishness. They are acts of wisdom. They protect your peace, preserve your emotional health, and allow you to continue showing up as your best self. Gratitude is another powerful tool for strengthening your aura. It is easy to focus on what is missing, what went wrong, or what has not yet happened. But gratitude shifts your attention toward what is already present. It trains your mind to recognize blessings, lessons, and opportunities that might otherwise go unnoticed. A grateful heart radiates a different kind of energy. People can feel it. It creates optimism without denial, hope without naivety, and confidence without arrogance. Emotional discipline is equally important. This does not mean suppressing emotions or pretending difficulties do not exist. It means learning to respond rather than react. It means refusing to allow temporary feelings to control permanent decisions. Emotionally disciplined individuals understand that anger, fear, frustration, and disappointment are normal experiences. However, they also understand that these emotions should be managed wisely rather than allowed to dictate behavior. The more control you develop over your responses, the stronger and more stable your aura becomes. Another critical step is learning to recognize and avoid energy-draining relationships. Some people uplift you, others constantly deplete you. Some encourage growth, others create endless chaos. Some celebrate your progress, others resent it. Protecting your aura requires discernment. It means paying attention to how certain environments and relationships affect your peace. It means being willing to step back from connections that consistently undermine your well-being. Finally, never underestimate the power of authenticity. Many people exhaust themselves trying to become who they think others want them to be. Chosen souls become strongest when they stop performing and start living authentically. Authenticity creates inner alignment. Inner alignment creates peace, and peace strengthens every aspect of your presence. The goal is not to impress people. The goal is to remain true to who you are becoming. When you commit to prayer, reflection, healthy boundaries, gratitude, emotional discipline, and authentic living, your aura naturally grows stronger. Not because you are trying to appear powerful, but because genuine strength always begins within. And the more you nurture what is happening inside, the more your presence will continue to inspire, comfort, and positively influence the world around you. As we reach the end of this journey, a deeper truth begins to emerge. This message was never simply about signs. It was never just about identifying patterns in the way people respond to you. It was about helping you recognize something that may have been present within you all along. Your presence is your gift. Think about everything we've discussed. People become unusually respectful around you. Your silence carries weight. Others seek your approval without openly admitting it. People trust you with their secrets, and your absence is felt long after you've left the room. At first glance, these may seem like separate experiences, but when viewed together, they reveal something much bigger. They reveal influence, not the kind of influence measured by followers, popularity, status, or public recognition, but the kind of influence that changes lives quietly. The kind that cannot be purchased, the kind that cannot be manufactured, the kind that comes from becoming rather than performing. Many people spend their lives chasing visibility. They believe that being noticed is the same as being valuable. They believe that influence comes from attracting attention. They believe that significance is measured by how many people know their name. But the most powerful influence often works in silence. A kind word offered at the right moment. A calm presence during someone else's storm. A conversation that restores hope. An example that inspires courage. A character that remains steady when circumstances become difficult. These things rarely make headlines, yet they leave lasting marks on the hearts of people. And perhaps that is what makes the chosen soul so unique. Their greatest gift is often not something they do. It is something they carry. Their presence creates peace. Their authenticity creates trust. Their resilience creates inspiration. Their wisdom creates direction. And their energy reminds others that strength and kindness can exist together. The truth is that some people may never tell you how much you helped them. Some may never explain how your words encouraged them during a difficult season. Some may never admit that your example gave them the courage to keep going. Yet your impact remains real, whether it is acknowledged or not. Never make the mistake of believing that your value depends on recognition. A flower does not stop being beautiful because no one praises it. A light does not stop shining because no one comments on its brightness. And your presence does not lose its significance simply because others fail to express their appreciation. Your purpose may not always be found in what you accomplish. Sometimes it is found in who you become. Sometimes it is found in the atmosphere you create. Sometimes it is found in the peace, wisdom, and strength you bring wherever you go. So if you've recognized yourself in these signs, receive this final revelation. You were never meant to measure your worth by how loudly the world applauds you. You were meant to understand that your presence itself carries value. Your presence itself carries influence. And your presence itself may be one of the greatest gifts you were ever called to share with the world. Chosen soul, if this message resonated with you, take a moment and reflect on everything you've heard today. For so long, you may have measured your value by things that were never meant to define you. You may have questioned your impact because you weren't receiving constant recognition. You may have wondered whether your efforts mattered because the results weren't always visible. You may have looked at your struggles, your setbacks, and your scars and assumed they were signs of weakness. But what if they were actually evidence of your transformation? What if every challenge you survived helped shape the presence people respect today? What if every season of isolation taught you lessons that now inspire others? What if the very battles that nearly broke you became the source of the strength people feel when they are around you? The truth is that your journey has not been wasted. Every lesson, every setback, every disappointment, every victory, every moment of growth has contributed to the person you are becoming. And that person carries a presence that matters. So don't underestimate the impact you have simply because it isn't always visible. Some of the lives you've touched will never tell you. Some of the people you've inspired may never reveal it. Some of the seeds you've planted may take years before they bear fruit. Yet your influence continues far beyond what your eyes can see. As you move forward, continue protecting your peace. Continue walking in authenticity. Continue choosing integrity when it would be easier to compromise. Continue becoming the person you were called to be. Because the world does not need another imitation. It needs the unique presence that only you can bring. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which of these signs spoke to you the most? Have you experienced people trusting you with their secrets, seeking your approval, or feeling your absence when you're gone? Share your experience in the comments below. Your story may encourage someone else who is walking a similar path. And if this message touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join this growing community of chosen souls seeking purpose, wisdom, and spiritual growth. Remember this: the world may not always recognize your value immediately. People may not always understand your journey. But every challenge you survived has shaped something powerful within you. You are not defined by the battles that came against you. You were refined by them. And while others may see only a person, heaven sees the strength, resilience, and purpose that were forged through every storm. Chosen soul, your presence is not an accident. Your journey is not meaningless. And your light was never meant to be hidden. Keep shining. Keep growing. Keep walking in your purpose, because the impact of your presence is far greater than you know. Chosen soul, have you ever walked into a room and felt the atmosphere shift before you even spoke a word? Have you noticed people suddenly becoming quieter, more respectful, or strangely attentive when you arrive? Perhaps you've wondered why strangers seem drawn to you, why some people instantly trust you, or why others become uncomfortable without any obvious reason. What if I told you that none of these experiences are random? What if the energy you carry is speaking long before your voice ever does? Many chosen souls spend years believing they are ordinary, unaware that their presence leaves a lasting impression wherever they go. They assume their influence is small because they are humble. They underestimate their value because they have endured rejection, misunderstanding, and seasons of isolation. Yet while they question themselves, the people around them are sensing something different. There is a certain aura that cannot be bought, copied, or faked. It is not created by status, appearance, or popularity. It is built through every battle survived, every lesson learned, and every challenge overcome. People may not always understand it, but they can feel it. And when an aura carries authenticity, wisdom, strength, and peace, it naturally earns respect. Today, we're uncovering the powerful signs that your aura is deeply respected and valued by the people around you. Some of these signs may surprise you. Others may explain experiences you've had your entire life but never fully understood. Stay until the end, because the final sign is often the strongest proof that your presence carries far more power than you realize. One of the greatest paradoxes of being a chosen soul is that the people who carry the most powerful presence are often the least aware of it. You would think that someone whose aura influences others would immediately recognize their own value. You would think that a person who inspires respect wherever they go would feel confident in who they are. But for many chosen souls, the opposite is true. The reason is simple: their journey has rarely been easy. Long before they discovered their strength, they experienced rejection. Before they understood their purpose, they endured seasons of confusion. Before they learned to trust themselves, they spent years questioning whether they were enough. Many chosen souls grow up feeling different from the people around them. They often feel misunderstood, overlooked, or disconnected. They notice things others don't notice. They feel things more deeply. They carry burdens silently while appearing strong on the outside. Over time, these experiences can create self-doubt. Instead of recognizing their gifts, they focus on their flaws. Instead of seeing how far they have come, they remember every setback they endured. Instead of acknowledging the lives they have touched, they dwell on the moments they felt ignored or rejected. What they fail to realize is that difficult seasons have a way of distorting self-perception. When you've spent years fighting battles nobody saw, it becomes easy to underestimate your own strength. When you've been rejected by people who couldn't understand you, it becomes difficult to believe that others admire and respect you. When you've survived disappointment after disappointment, you may become so focused on healing your wounds that you never notice the influence you've gained along the way. This is why many chosen souls walk through life unaware of the impact they have on others. While they are busy questioning themselves, people are quietly observing them. Others notice their resilience. Others notice their wisdom. Others notice how they remain kind despite everything they have endured. Others notice the calm they bring into stressful situations. Others notice the integrity they maintain when no one is watching. The chosen soul often sees only the struggle, but the world sees the strength that emerged from it. In fact, some of the most respected individuals never realize how much they inspire others. They assume everyone is focused on their mistakes when, in reality, people are paying attention to their perseverance. And perhaps that is one of the clearest signs of a truly powerful aura. It does not need constant recognition. It does not seek validation. Its influence works quietly. While you're wondering whether you matter, someone else is learning from your example. While you are questioning your worth, someone else is drawing strength from your presence. The truth is that people often recognize the value of a chosen soul long before the chosen soul recognizes it in themselves. Before we go any further, it's important to understand what an aura truly is. When many people hear the word aura, they immediately think of something mystical or invisible surrounding a person. Others associate it with physical attractiveness, charisma, or popularity. But in spiritual terms, an aura is much deeper than any of those things. Your aura is the presence you carry. It is the atmosphere that accompanies you wherever you go. It is the energy people feel when they interact with you, even before a conversation begins. It is the reflection of what has been cultivated within your heart, mind, and spirit over time. This is why two people can walk into the same room and create completely different reactions. One person may demand attention through loud words, constant self-promotion, or an overwhelming desire to be noticed. The other may enter quietly, speak very little, and yet somehow command greater respect without making any effort at all. The difference is not appearance. The difference is presence. A powerful aura is not built through performance. It is built through character. Every challenge you overcome shapes it. Every lesson you learn strengthens it. Every moment you choose integrity over compromise reinforces it. Every time you respond with wisdom instead of anger, patience instead of impulsiveness, and kindness instead of bitterness, your spiritual presence grows stronger. People may not consciously understand why they feel comfortable around you, inspired by you, or drawn to your company, but they are responding to the qualities that have been developed within you. Inner peace is one of the strongest components of a respected aura. In a world filled with chaos, people naturally notice those who remain grounded. When others are overwhelmed by fear, confusion, or negativity, the person who carries peace becomes a source of stability. Their calm presence reassures others without needing to say a word. Integrity is another powerful element. People are constantly evaluating whether someone is genuine. They pay attention to consistency. They notice whether a person's actions align with their words. When they encounter someone whose character remains steady, regardless of circumstances, trust begins to form naturally. This is where true spiritual authority differs from attention-seeking behavior. Attention-seeking behavior says, "Look at me." True spiritual authority says nothing at all, yet people cannot help but notice it. Attention seeks admiration. Authority earns respect. Attention fades when the spotlight disappears. Authority remains even in silence. The chosen soul must understand this distinction because the most respected auras are rarely the loudest. They are often carried by individuals who have learned that real influence does not come from demanding attention. It comes from becoming the kind of person whose presence speaks for itself. The first sign that your aura is respected and valued by people is surprisingly simple, yet incredibly powerful. People become unusually respectful around you. At first, this may not seem like a significant sign. In fact, many chosen souls overlook it completely because they assume everyone is treated the same way. But if you pay close attention, you'll begin to notice that certain people behave differently in your presence. They become more careful with their words. They think twice before speaking negatively. They show unexpected manners. They treat you with a level of courtesy that seems almost automatic. What's fascinating is that most of them are not doing this consciously. They are responding to something they feel. A respected aura creates an invisible boundary that people instinctively recognize. Even individuals who are normally loud, impulsive, or disrespectful often adjust their behavior when they encounter someone who carries genuine spiritual strength. Have you ever noticed someone acting one way around everyone else, then suddenly becoming calmer when you enter the conversation? Have you ever seen a person known for gossip or negativity become strangely reserved around you? Have you ever had strangers address you with an unusual level of respect despite knowing nothing about your background, status, or accomplishments? These moments are not always coincidences. People are constantly reading energy, even when they are unaware of it. Long before the conscious mind forms an opinion, the subconscious mind is observing signals related to confidence, authenticity, emotional stability, and character. When someone senses these qualities in you, they naturally adjust their behavior. This is especially true when your aura has been strengthened through hardship. Chosen souls often earn respect not because life has been easy for them, but because they have survived difficulties without allowing those experiences to destroy their character. People can feel that. They may not know your story. They may not know the battles you fought. They may not know the nights you spent rebuilding yourself after disappointment, betrayal, or loss. Yet somehow, they recognize the strength that emerged from those experiences. And strength expressed through humility is one of the most respected qualities a person can possess. Think about the individuals you've respected most throughout your life. Chances are, it wasn't because they constantly demanded attention. It wasn't because they bragged about their achievements. It wasn't because they tried to prove their superiority. More likely, it was because they carried themselves with quiet confidence, integrity, and self-control. That same quality can exist within you. A respected aura does not need to announce itself. It does not walk into a room seeking approval. It does not depend on validation from others. Instead, it creates an atmosphere that encourages others to elevate their own behavior. Without realizing it, people begin choosing their words more carefully. They become more thoughtful. They become more mindful of how they present themselves. Some may even feel a little nervous around you, not because they dislike you, but because your presence reminds them to be authentic. Your energy encourages honesty. Your character commands respect. And while some people may never openly admit it, they feel it every time they interact with you. This is why chosen souls are often surprised when others describe them as influential, inspiring, or admirable. They see themselves as ordinary because they live with themselves every day. But others see something different. They see consistency. They see resilience. They see wisdom gained through experience. Most importantly, they see a person whose actions align with their values. And in a world where authenticity is becoming increasingly rare, that kind of presence naturally earns respect. So, if you've noticed people becoming unusually polite, careful, or respectful around you, don't dismiss it. It may be the first clear sign that your aura carries a quiet authority that people recognize, appreciate, and deeply value. The second sign that your aura is deeply respected and valued by people is this: your silence carries more weight than other people's words. In today's world, many people believe influence comes from speaking the loudest. They assume that the person who dominates every conversation is the one who holds the most power. Social media, public debates, and everyday interactions often reinforce the idea that visibility equals importance. But chosen souls discover a very different truth. Real influence is not measured by how much you say. It is measured by how much impact your words have when you finally decide to speak. If you've ever noticed people becoming unusually attentive when you share your opinion, this may be a sign that your aura commands a level of respect that goes far beyond ordinary communication. Think about it. There are people who talk constantly, yet few remember what they said. Their words fill the air, but they leave little lasting impression. Then there are those who speak only when necessary. They observe more than they react. They listen more than they interrupt. And when they finally offer their perspective, the entire atmosphere shifts. People pay attention. Conversations pause. Eyes turn toward them. Not because they demanded attention, but because they earned it. Chosen souls often possess this quality without realizing it. Because they have endured difficult experiences, they learn the value of observation. Life teaches them that not every situation requires a response. Not every disagreement deserves their energy. Not every challenge must be met with immediate reaction. Over time, this develops a powerful form of self-control. And self-control is one of the rarest qualities in today's world. Many people are ruled by impulse. They speak from anger, react from frustration, and make decisions based on temporary emotions. But someone who has learned to remain calm under pressure radiates a different kind of strength. People notice it, even if they cannot explain why. There is something reassuring about a person who does not panic when others panic. There is something inspiring about a person who remains composed when everyone else is losing control. There is something powerful about a person who knows when to speak and when to remain silent. This is where emotional maturity becomes visible. A respected aura is not created by always having the perfect answer. It is created by understanding that wisdom often requires patience. Emotionally mature individuals recognize that words have consequences. They choose them carefully because they understand the power they carry. As a result, when they finally speak, people listen. Not because they are the loudest voice in the room, but because they have become one of the most trustworthy voices in the room. Trust changes everything. When people trust your character, they value your perspective. When people trust your judgment, they seek your guidance. When people trust your intentions, your words naturally carry greater weight. This is why chosen souls often find that others ask for their advice, even when there are more experienced or outspoken individuals available. People are not always looking for the most impressive speaker. Often, they are looking for the person whose presence makes them feel safe, understood, and grounded. And that person is frequently the one who has mastered silence. Silence should never be mistaken for weakness. In many cases, silence is evidence of strength. It shows confidence without arrogance. It shows discipline without control. It shows wisdom without the need for recognition. The loudest person in the room may attract attention for a moment, but the calmest person in the room often earns lasting respect. So, if you've noticed that people become attentive when you speak, that your opinions influence decisions, or that your words seem to carry unusual significance, don't overlook it. It may be a powerful indication that your aura has developed something far more valuable than attention. It has developed quiet authority. And quiet authority is one of the clearest signs of a presence that people genuinely respect and value. The third sign that your aura is respected and valued by people is one that many chosen souls completely overlook. People seek your approval without ever saying it directly. Unlike obvious forms of admiration, this sign is often subtle. It doesn't usually come in the form of compliments, praise, or public recognition. Instead, it appears through small behaviors that reveal how much weight people place on your opinion. In fact, some individuals may never openly admit how much your perspective matters to them. Yet their actions tell the story. Have you ever noticed someone glancing at you after making a statement, almost as if they're waiting to see how you'll respond? Have you ever seen people look toward you after sharing an idea, telling a story, or making a decision? Perhaps you've experienced situations where someone seemed unusually interested in whether you agreed with them, even though they tried to appear confident on the surface. These are often signs that your opinion carries influence. People naturally seek validation from those they respect. This happens in workplaces, friendships, family gatherings, social circles, and even among strangers. Human beings are constantly assessing where they stand in relation to others. When they encounter someone they perceive as wise, grounded, authentic, or emotionally mature, they often begin seeking subtle forms of approval. Most of the time, this process happens unconsciously. The person may not even realize they are doing it. Yet they find themselves paying close attention to your reactions. They notice your facial expressions. They listen carefully to your feedback. They become curious about your perspective. And sometimes your approval matters more to them than they would ever admit. Why does this happen? Because a respected aura becomes a reference point. People trust what appears stable. They trust what appears authentic. They trust what appears consistent. When someone repeatedly demonstrates integrity, wisdom, and emotional balance, others naturally begin using that person as a benchmark for evaluating their own choices and behavior. Think about a compass. A compass doesn't force anyone to follow it. It simply provides direction. In much the same way, chosen souls often become emotional and spiritual reference points for the people around them. Others observe how they handle pressure. Others observe how they treat people. Others observe how they respond to success, failure, conflict, and disappointment. And through that observation, people begin measuring themselves against the example they see. This influence can show up in surprising ways. You may notice people sharing accomplishments with you and watching carefully for your reaction. You may notice co-workers wanting your opinion before making important decisions. You may notice friends seeking your advice even after they have already made up their minds. You may notice family members becoming especially interested in whether you support their choices. These behaviors are often indicators that your perspective carries value. The interesting part is that chosen souls frequently underestimate this influence because they assume everyone receives the same level of attention. But they don't. Not everyone becomes a trusted point of reference. Not everyone inspires confidence. Not everyone earns the level of respect required for others to seek their approval. That kind of influence must be built over time. It develops through consistency. It develops through character. It develops through demonstrating wisdom during difficult moments. And perhaps most importantly, it develops through authenticity. People can sense when someone is pretending. They can sense when someone is seeking attention. But they can also sense when someone is genuine. Authenticity creates trust. Trust creates influence. And influence creates the quiet desire for approval. This doesn't mean people see you as perfect. It doesn't mean they agree with everything you say. What it means is that they respect your judgment enough to care about your perspective. And that is a powerful sign of a valued aura. The truth is, many people are paying closer attention to you than you realize. They are learning from your example. They are observing your choices. They are measuring their own decisions against standards they see reflected in your character. Not because you demanded influence, not because you asked for authority, but because your presence has quietly earned their respect. So, if you've noticed people watching your reactions, seeking your feedback, or appearing unusually concerned about what you think, don't dismiss it as coincidence. It may be one of the clearest signs that your aura has become a source of guidance, trust, and inspiration for those around you. The fourth sign that your aura is respected and valued by people is both powerful and deeply meaningful. People trust you with their secrets. If this has happened to you throughout your life, you may have thought it was simply a coincidence. You may have assumed that people are naturally open with everyone. But the truth is, genuine trust is one of the rarest gifts a person can receive. Most people guard their inner world carefully. They hide their fears. They conceal their regrets. They keep their struggles behind closed doors. They present a version of themselves that feels safe for others to see while protecting the parts of their lives that feel vulnerable. Yet somehow, when they are around certain individuals, those walls begin to come down. Chosen souls often have this effect on people. Have you ever met someone for the first time, only to have them tell you deeply personal details within minutes of the conversation beginning? Have you ever found yourself listening to stories that people claim they have never shared with anyone else? Have you ever wondered why strangers, co-workers, friends, or even acquaintances seem comfortable revealing their deepest concerns to you? If so, there is a reason. People feel emotionally safe in your presence, and emotional safety is one of the strongest indicators of a respected aura. Many people spend years searching for someone they can trust completely. They long for a person who will listen without judgment, understand without condemning, and offer wisdom without manipulation. When they encounter that kind of energy, they recognize it immediately, even if they cannot explain it. Your aura may communicate something powerful before you ever speak a word. It may communicate patience. It may communicate understanding. It may communicate sincerity. Most importantly, it may communicate that you are a safe place. Authenticity plays a major role in this. People are constantly evaluating whether someone is genuine. They can often sense when a person is pretending to care, offering superficial advice, or listening only to respond. But authentic individuals create a completely different experience. When you genuinely care about others, people feel it. When your concern is real, people sense it. When your interest comes from compassion rather than curiosity, trust begins to grow naturally. This is one reason chosen souls often become confidants without trying. Their presence encourages honesty. Their energy invites openness. Their character makes people feel seen. And in a world where many people feel misunderstood, being truly seen is incredibly powerful. Empathy is another important factor. Empathy is not simply hearing someone's words. It is understanding the emotions behind those words. It is recognizing pain that remains unspoken. It is offering space for someone to be honest without fear of rejection. People are drawn to individuals who possess this quality because it is increasingly rare. Many conversations today focus on being heard. Few focus on understanding. Yet chosen souls often develop empathy through their own experiences. They know what it feels like to struggle. They know what it feels like to feel isolated. They know what it feels like to carry burdens in silence. Because of this, they often become exceptionally compassionate toward the struggles of others, and people respond to that compassion. However, there is another side to this gift that every chosen soul must understand. Trust carries responsibility. When people entrust you with their fears, their dreams, their mistakes, and their vulnerabilities, they are offering something precious. They are placing confidence in your character. They are believing that you will protect what they have shared. They are trusting you to handle their truth with care. That trust should never be taken lightly. A respected aura is not only measured by how many people confide in you, it is also measured by how faithfully you honor their confidence. This means listening without gossip. It means offering wisdom without control. It means supporting without exploiting vulnerability. It means becoming a source of stability rather than a source of judgment. The more faithfully you handle the trust of others, the more your aura grows in strength and respect. So, if people frequently open up to you, share personal struggles, seek your guidance, or reveal parts of themselves they rarely show anyone else, pay attention. This is not something that happens by accident. It is often a clear sign that your presence communicates safety, authenticity, and understanding. And few things reveal a respected and valued aura more powerfully than the willingness of others to trust you with the secrets they protect from the rest of the world. The fifth sign that your aura is respected and valued by people is one that often goes unnoticed until after the fact. Your absence is strongly felt. In many ways, this may be the most powerful sign of all.